Nigerians, for the sake of peace, make una not allow President Tinubu or any APC supporter to come across this particular video. Peter Obi don break another record. I know say many of una never hear wetin this man e own reaction about the update now wey dey trend about Peter Obi and wetin this man dey expose for inside this video. See, after lis ten to what this man just expose, wetin this man dey expose for inside this particular video, I don see the reason why APC dey fear Peter Obi. But na wetin come talk at the ending of this video about Peter Obi, na wetin I wan make you hear. Make una watch the video and make una also share the video. Make una tag Peter Obi for this video because more Nigerians need to come lis ten to this interesting interview. Make una hear this man im own reaction for the question wey dey ask am for inside this video about the happenings in this country and Peter Obi
is doing. But maybe the Okonkwo complex in Things Fall Apart is what is playing out. A situation where a character evolves amongst his people and begins to see himself as slightly above the clan. You know, and Chinua Achebe warns us in Arrow of God that no man, no matter how highly placed, can win a judgment against his clan. And then you look at Okonkwo at a point, Okonkwo became as a totem of Umuofia. He assumed responsibilities that even the gods did not assign to him. So another Okonkwo is on the political stage now as a spokesman for Atiku Abubakar. I don't think that Atiku Abubakar sent him to make the extreme declarations and allegations that he has made so far. So I think that Okonkwo complex has continued to haunt some of our magnificent characters on the political scene. Our brother Chubo Kadibo, whom I hold in high esteem.
Oyi of Oyi.
The Oyi of Oyi, flamboyant, charismatic, zesty, thirsty, everything that, you know, a character could have. I mean, whether in art or even in real life, Chubo Kadibo comes alive with, you know, the fullness of his glory. And he overreached himself. I hope Kenneth Okonkwo does not travel on the same trajectory because we know how Chuba ended up. The only difference in the current situation is that Peter B is a very restrained and perhaps a little more, I don't know how to, there is something about Peter B that, you know, that continues to defy definition.
Could that be the thing that annoys Kenneth Okonkwo? Because he's been going on and on about Obi not fighting. Obi not standing.
Is it just
Obi not standing for that?
Yes.
But
it's not just Kenneth alone.
Is this a problem of a lot of people want Obi to be something he's not?
Yes. The point is that a lot of people have yet to understand what Obi is. They mistake him easily. Ran on mockery, reigned him, provoked him, and did it for years. Even the last encounter at the airport, you know, he still, how did Obi handle that encounter? A less gifted character would have fled up or would have given people reason to now begin to berate him. No. So there is something about Obi that, as I said earlier, that makes it difficult for people to define him. You can't define Peter Obi because this person, you provoke him and he doesn't react the way, you know, if you're expecting him to go this way, he would react differently. I remember when somebody said something about him in, you know, in the leadership of Anambra State, and he said, well, he was a mere trader, and now we have a professor. I expect you to do better. Imagine that level of grace. You know, and I think that is that thing that people have seen that they cannot easily describe is the Obi mystique. That's what is driving him. And that's why he's become so successful. He's become very iconic. He has continued to define the current democratic culture in the country in a way that no other politician of this age has. It doesn't matter whether Obi wins any elections or not. the Obi factor, the Obi enigma, the Obi mystique hovers in the atmosphere. Whether the election swings in his favor or not. I don't see any politician in the last 20 years in Nigeria that have lived in Nigeria that has achieved that level of grace and has a halo, something like a halo over his head. When he goes, when he leaves, when he travels out of the country, goes to other places, meets diplomats, meets world leaders, is given the recognition of almost a substantive president. You understand what I'm saying? I have not seen an opposition figure out of Africa that commands that level of presence, that level of admiration and respect outside the shores of their own countries. So, and enemies or political opponents see that, they try to destroy that, they try to break into that ring around him. And he has perfected the art of evading them. And now I give you the latest strategy. The latest strategy is what he has done to Deji Adeyanju and now Kenneth Okonkwo. You know, he sues them or threatens to sue them. Deji Adeyanju has calmed down since his own case came up. Now Kenneth has also come. They have.
Because once it goes to court, you can no longer talk.
Exactly. So that is what I was trying to say earlier when I said that Obi is actually growing and evolving in the Nigerian political chess game. The person we see in this dispensation is not the same person that was there in 2023, who was ready to turn the other cheek.
That's correct. And now that you've mentioned this, do you think that Obi has actually grown from the scars of 2023? He's no longer the man who in boxing, they call it having an iron chin. You know, you take all the punches without bleeding, without showing that you're hurt.
Yes.
But now, do you think that Obi has finally evolved in his approach to his political diplomacy and engagement?
Yes.
Do you think that with his emergence in the NDC, a lot of the people who were watching him, even the incumbent, they didn't expect this was going to happen. They had their eyes on the ADC. But this happened.
Absolutely. That is one side.
So could this be the reason why all this is happening?
Yes, Obi has matured. He has grown. He has evolved. And much to my own personal admiration and much to the expectations of the large group of people that are following him politically across the country. He has evolved. And we can all see that. We can see even that some of his political pronouncements with regards to the coming elections have been they carry sharp edges now. We can see that this is not the pacifist we had in 2023, that this person is ready to actually go an extra mile this time, because in the last dispensation he was almost non-committal, so to speak.
I think he already knows what to expect.
Exactly.
So his strategy will obviously change.
The strategy will change because but what we do not know is how far his strategy will change in the final third. Speaking like a footballer. I forgot your love for Chelsea, but that's a matter for another day.
But Rangers, first of all. we are the champions.
I know, congratulations. Meanwhile, in the final third, how will Obi's strategy, what will it look like? How will it change? We are seeing, signs, we are seeing, possibilities of what to expect. He handles the opposition better this time than he did in the past. And he has continued to engage. He's continued to talk to people. He's continued to appeal to people. I would not say that I did not expect, the skirmishes that came from the primaries. I mean, that's the first stage or the first test in internal party mechanism and cohesion. But going forward, we shall see what the scenario we throw at him and how he responds. But I'm very much certain that we have a new political gladiator in 2027.
So now because this is now the biggest talking point within the Nigeria's political space.
Yeah.
Looking at this and how politicians from the Southeast relate with each other, when you place that on the table, juxtapose it with how politicians relate with each other in other regions. So you don't see people from within the same region rising up to challenge their kinsmen. I mean, with everything happening in the north, you haven't seen anybody from the north coming to tell Atiku, after all, Buhari just handed over. Nobody. You've not seen anybody say that. And nobody, clearly, even though that the governor of Oyo State says he's running for president, he hasn't openly abused the president. He hasn't.
Yes.
So what is missing in the way people from this extraction interact with people who are aspiring? Is it a crime that Obi is aspiring? And he's aspiring in the midst of people who believe that it's their birthright to aspire, but not at this time. There are senior politicians, some quote, from the Southeast who believe that they are the ones who should aspire and not Peter Obi.
Yes.
This is actually putting it, forcing it out. They didn't say it, but that's what they've implied.
But that's the message. That's a silent message. Thank you for this question. But because it's important that we take cognizance of how different we are. Our Republican nature. And my brother Kenneth Okonkwo's analysis of the Igbo man and our culture. You look at who we are. The philosophy of nwata kwa aka osolo kenye lie ife. All of those things are absent in the cultures of our neighbors. Very hierarchical and regimented. Here we talk across the lines, across the divides, across, because let us not forget, our ancestors were practicing democracy before there was a name for it. We haven't changed. We are children of our ancestors. We carry the spark they left behind. So, in essence, I'm not surprised that the competition is fierce here. You look at even the city boy movement, when, it began in the southeast Nigeria, it became a different thing altogether. People were wondering whether it was a project meant only for the southeast of Nigeria. So it is our culture, it's our tradition, competition, even in the village setting, like in your community. Age grades compete, age mates compete. In fact, if you don't buckle up, your family will remind you when you are in your 30s or approaching your 30s, they remind you,
they start reminding you.
Yes,
in
and
case you forget.
They will just tell you, they will not tell you, oh, need to go in wine. But no,
they use comparative analysis to
that is it. That is who we are. We always look this way and that to measure our level of success and our progress in life.
So, but the real issue here is that why is it that everything that has to do with the Southeast is loudest? The City Boy movement, the Southeast arm of it was the loudest. Now, the Southeast Development Commission, which
yes,
they have had 2 sessions with the Senate Committee on Southeast Development Commission in a space of 6 months. They've had 2 sessions. One was the budget defense, and this one is for them to come and explain their account. But no other development commission has had to come and defend themselves. Maybe someone needs to correct me, but which other development commission has had to face the fire that the Southeast Development Commission is facing? And what makes it more interesting, that the committee that is actually subjecting them to this are from the Southeast.
Absolutely.
What is going on?
Nothing. It's just the Southeast mystique, our approach to life. And then again, let me also correct one impression. You see, the Southeast Development Commission is not like any other commission. This is a special vehicle that the Southeasterners had waited for since the end of the Civil War. And it finally came. So everybody is in a hurry. We want to see results. People want to see results. People want to see results. There is pressure everywhere. And that is why all these exchanges, the one that happened in March and the one that is going on now, the fire that is going on, all of them has to do with performance. People are asking, after this period of time, where are we? That's the way I understand it, which is not entirely wrong. We'll be making a mistake if we begin to use the standards of our neighbors to judge our own standards. Don't forget that we have always had, I'm not saying we have higher standards here, but we've always been fiercely competitive as a people, as a nation, as an ethnicity. We are very competitive. We do not look this way and that to say, oh, because these people are not doing their own this way. So I think that it's, in all sincerity, is not negative in the sense that when you have the Senate committee perform the oversight function as they should, then the management, we know that they are contending with themselves because, as you rightly pointed out, the members of the committee are not people from outside of the zone. So it will be difficult to actually sit in this station now and say, oh,
yeah.
I
mean, my point is, what's the whole essence of the theatrics? Because there is nothing discussed on that table that they are not aware of before Mark came to that table.
I'm not sure.
No, Mark said they met on Friday. Listen to the conversation. Mark and Ojuzokalo met on Friday. He said it. So I don't know, but it just, something is happening behind the scenes that we are not aware of. Maybe we'll find out in the months to come. Yes. I mean, there was something that happened when Sanusi Lamido was governor of the central bank. He was before the Senate, and they were questioning him up and down. And at a point, he told them, gentlemen, if you want my signature, I'll drop it. Sanusi Lamido is different from the governor of the central bank. If you want my resignation, I'll drop it now and go. And they started saying, hey, it hasn't come to that. So what do they want, really? Because at the end of the day, we've had this conversation here, even in the station.
Yeah.
So what do the Southeast Senate caucus and the Southeast Development Commission want from the commission? Have they given them, because they had a stakeholders engagement. What do they want? Yes, they are oversighting.
Yeah.
But what do they want? Because all I'm seeing is how much is remaining.
Yes. Because
and again, there's, people see this in different ways. Is it that clearly that people are mentioning 16 billion, but it's not like 16 billion had finished. They said they have at least there's 10 billion there. I don't know whether it's 11 or 10, whatever. There's money remaining there. It's not like the money finished. So what are you going to do with the remaining money? That's what people want to hear. We're not hearing that. They're going to meet on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes. I think, Alex, because this is an extremely sensitive matter.
It is.
What I would not want to take sides at this stage, because we don't have all the information. It would be clear. If you watched the video clips, you would see that the Senate committee went to that engagement prepared.
That's correct.
And Ojikalo, the Senate committee chair, actually threatened. He said, look, we are ahead of you. In fact, I'm trying to save you, because if I allow the members of this committee ask questions based on the information they have, you won't have it easy leaving this. You'll find it difficult to leave this room.
Thank you for watching that video. So guys, before you leave, look at the down here. Do well to subscribe and also put on your notification bell so that whenever we upload any video in this great platform, you will be the first to see it. And please don't forget to drop your comment at the comment section what you think about this video, your opinion as well. See guys, This is where I'm going to end it.